Welcome in everybody. Hope you're doing well today and good to see you again here for another mindful movement session. Looks like we've got quite a few people here, which is good. So it's good to have you here as always. Let's get ourselves into a nice comfortable position and begin with our breathing. Whenever you're ready to, just a nice deep breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And after a couple of breaths or whenever you're ready to, just start to close those eyes down and just focus on that breathing. So bring that focus inwards, just focusing on how the breathing comes in and out in your own time, your own pace. And as you do so as well, just let your body relax, let the shoulders drop slightly. And just sink into the seat where you are. And as you're doing this deep breathing in that much more relaxed state, just notice how it affects your body as you breathe in. Notice how the chest expands, lifts up and forward slightly. And as you breathe out, notice how the shoulders relax. Notice how it affects your nervous system in terms of how relaxed you feel within yourself. And now we're in this much more relaxed state, a much more focused state. Let's first of all thank ourselves for turning up here today, for taking that first step into the rest of this session. Often that first step is the hardest, just to arrive. So you've already done that. Now we're here, we can focus on the task at hand, which is focusing on the breathing, the movements, the mobility stuff we'll be doing through today's exercises. And just making sure that we bring that focus back. Anytime it drifts off, we start thinking about other things, we can just bring it back here. We don't need to worry about what's come before us today or what we need to do later. All we need to do is to focus on the here, the now, and remaining present throughout. Over the next couple of breaths, start to sit up nice and tall, and if you haven't already. And you can start to open up your eyes. And as you do so, let's shrug the shoulders up as you breathe in. As you breathe out, relax them down. Breathe in, shrug up, squeeze them tight at the top. Breathe out, relax them down. Just link that in with your breathing in your own time, in your own space. Let's do the same, but instead of going up and down, we come forwards and back. So squeezing those shoulder blades together as you bring them back, breathing in, breathe out, push those shoulders forwards, rounding that back out, and go back and forth between the two. Okay, as we breathe in, now we relax the shoulders down, we bring the hands up and bring them down. Just nice, gentle movements. Bring it up, breathing in, breathe out, pushing it down. Link the breathing with the arm movements. Nice, gentle, fluid motions as you go through this. It's not breathe in, breathe out, it's breathe in, breathe out. Okay, hands around about our shoulder height, armpit area. And as you breathe, we're pushing one hand out, bringing it back in. Breathe out as you push out. Breathe in as you pull in. Alternating those hands, going one and the other. If you need to, I hold both hands here in between, but if you need to, you can rest one down if you need that extra bit of support. Just extend it a little bit more. So as you reach forwards, lean into it. Back. And again, you may need to support with the other arm as you come further forwards, but that's all depending on how much core ability you've got. Reach forward, stretching there. You can bring your head down in line with it as well, just to get that extra little reach. But still linking the breathing. Breathe out as you push out. Breathe in as you pull in. These have a number of benefits, these movements, but the main thing we're focusing on here is breathing with our bodily movements. So this helps us to just be a bit more aware of how our mind, our body, our breathing all links together. We naturally actually do this when we yawn and stretch at the same time. You're breathing and you're stretching. That's kind of what you do. You don't do that while I'm doing that. We're carrying with the reaching forwards. But yeah, as you do a big yawn and a stretch in the morning, that's kind of the same as what we're doing here. We're sort of simulating that over and over again. Okay, let's extend it a little bit more. So reaching forwards, and on the way back, we come up and over the top the best you can. Remembering though, if you can't come up and over the top, just come as best you can. If that's around to the side, just whatever you can do to reach forwards, breathe out as you do so. Breathe in, bring that arm right the way round the best you can behind you, back to the start, and then just repeating on the other side. Yeah, right, let's bring it back into the center and we go on to the same movements, but onto the side, starting with the first step, push out, pull in, breathe as you push out, breathe in as you put. And again, nice, smooth movements. So it's not breathe out, breathe in, it's breathe out, breathe in. And if you need to, you can support yourself with the other hand as you go to one side. Or you can have the other hand raised still. It's completely up to you. One just uses the core a little bit more than the other. Extend that a little bit more as well. So as you reach out to the side, you can lean into it a bit more. And then over to the other side. Breathe out still as you push out. Breathe in as you pull in. You can bring it a little bit further by bringing that ear down onto the arm. Work, really reaching out. Good. Now, as you do so, we're going to reach out a little bit more, coming up and over the top, down to the other side, like you are very elaborately putting your seatbelt on. Excellent work, everybody. And bringing it in there. Good. Let's just have a little quick hydration break. Move on to the next part here. Good movement there. Good extension with those arms, though. Got a new cup and it's very happy. Mainly got it for the straw because it's easier to drink when I'm exercising. But good. Okay. Great start there with some breathing and some linking the breathing into some extended movements there. Let's continue this session by moving into our spinal mobility. As always, try and link these into each and every session that we do. If it's a small amount in the cardio sessions that we do, or this more extended version that we do here, it's very important to keep that spine mobilized as often as we can. I always recommend to do something every day when it comes to spinal mobility, even if it's just a small 5-minute session or even less even, that's fine, but we do our extended version. So whenever you're ready and you've had your drink, let's get into some looking up, looking down, that flexion extension to start with, nice gentle movements. And it may start off that just a little bit stiff or just a little bit less range of motion, but as you go into it, as you gently go through that range of motion that you can do, it might start to just ease off slightly. And the next time you find yourself looking down, let's just hold it there. And I know I've said it before, but I like to keep re-educating you guys with these sort of things. But the reason we want to keep moving it is that the spine is designed to move quite frequently, although right now we're holding it, looking down. That's just increasing that stretch a little bit, but it's designed to move lots every single day. When, especially in our neck, it's designed to look around, but also support our head. And it does so many different things that when you're in a wheelchair, or if you're just leading a life that's more seated, you tend not to move it quite as much. That goes with the neck and the rest of the spine. And because of that, it's not quite going through what it's designed to go through. So by doing these movements, we're introducing some of that movement that it's designed to do, and that just helps to keep it healthy in the long run. But here we're just letting gravity take over, increasing that stretch a little bit down the back of the neck. But let's ease out of it now. Do a couple of looking up and looking down. And then the next time you find yourself looking up, let's hold that there. And as always, we can increase the stretch, putting the hand on the sternum, pulling down, keeping that mouth closed as you do so. Feeling that stretch through the front of the neck. If you need to, you can go a bit side to side as well. And you almost definitely feel if you go side to side, one will be feeling a bit tighter than the other side, which is perfectly normal, especially if you're a side sleeper or if you sit at a desk and you maybe lean on one elbow more than the other. It's not necessarily a problem if you have small muscular imbalances. That's why we do these exercises to help correct it slightly, keep everything nice and loose, mobile, or strong through the sessions we do on the cardio. But let's ease out of that one there now. Let's do a couple of looking up and looking downs to ease out of it. And we're going to looking side to side. So yeah, these are less about trying to achieve something in particular. It's more about keeping, although this is a goal in itself, keeping the neck and the rest of the spine as healthy as it can be. But the next time we find ourselves looking to the left, let's hold it there. And if you want to increase the stretch, we can put the hand on the collarbone and increase that stretch, just like we did with the sternum exercise. The first one when we pull down on the sternum as we're looking up, but this time we pull down onto the collarbone as we're twisting to the side. And again, here you can look up, look down as you're twisted. Feel the stretch in different places. Lots of options here. Just have a play around with it and find what feels good for you. Oh, let's ease out of it there. Do a couple of looking side to sides. And the next time you find yourself looking to the right, let's hold it on that side as well. Out a bit. Just a couple of side to sides. It's interesting to see how each and every bit feels, because as I was looking up and I went side to side, I noticed that this side was tighter in terms of looking to side, but when I did the rotation one, this side was tighter, which is more where it's linked to the jaw. So it's obviously I'm chewing on this side more, but sleeping on this side more sort of thing. So that mixed match of what we do with our bodies and how everything's linked, and it's not necessarily clear like, oh, I'm more one side dominated the average. It's different on different parts of the body. Anyway, let's go into the lateral flexion now. So let's bring one knee to one shoulder, to the other shoulder, and back and forth between the two. Nice and gentle to begin with. Next time you find your left ear on your left shoulder, holding it there, we can take our right arm and either hold it down by the side, or we can loop it behind us, just like so. And we're just holding that position, in that stretch. And again, you can move your head. Once it's over to the side, you can sort of rock it back and forth, find the position that works for you. Feel that stretch. And then ease out of it. Nice and gentle. These ones, they can be a little bit more intense. Let's go into a couple of side to sides. And then the next time you find your right ear on your right shoulder, leave it there. Bring that arm either down or behind. Increase that stretch. Ease out a bit. Do a couple of lefts and rights to do so. Yeah, let's go into the rest of our spine. So go extension and flexion. First of all, that's curling over like a prawn, arching back like a high jumper, and going back and forth between the two. So just on that point where I was saying about easing out of the stretching, the reason is the way that the muscles are constructed as such. They're not like elastic bands. You can't just like let go of them, they spring back into position. The muscle fibers, the reason they're called fibers, because they kind of run over each other a little bit more like Velcro. It's kind of a bit more, it's not a completely accurate way of describing it, but it's more like that than it is like an elastic band. So what happens when we do a stretch is that you're stretching it out, and like Velcro, you know, it makes that noise sort of thing. That's like our it's stretching, and then when we bring it back together, it kind of needs time just to push it back into place a little bit when we do an intense stretch. Again, it's not a perfect metaphor, but it's a bit closer to that. So that's why we want to ease out of it, and it kind of feels a bit weird when you come straight out of a stretch. It's not just straight back to normal. It kind of takes a few seconds and maybe a little bit of movement just to get it back into position. Focusing on this right now, which is getting that mobility through the rest of our spine. And as we're doing this, if you want to, you can have a little bit of a play around. You don't have to go straight in a line. You can come up and maybe go over to the left slightly, over to the right, and just if something feels particularly good, or is just mobilizing it in a slightly different way that is in pain-free range of motion. And then don't be afraid to experiment with it a little bit. Okay, let's ease out of that one and go into our rotation side to side next. One side, then the other. And much like it takes a couple of seconds to come out of a stretch, sometimes it takes a little while to get into the stretch as well. For me, getting into this rotation nearly always gets spasms the first couple of ones. So I just have to be careful, be easy with it. And then as I relax into it, which the breathing helps with, it starts to relax off and I can get a little bit further, a little bit easier. So I'm listening to my body in that sense. I'm like, moves like, okay, spasm in there, just to ease out of it. As the spasms relax, I can move it a little bit more. I'm not just forcing it into a position I know I can get in. I'm just sort of listening, going, okay, we're not there yet. Now we're getting there. We're moving a little bit easier. Yeah, let's do a little hold here on this as well. Let's go when we're next turning to the left, holding that position there. And let's just breathe into it here for a number of breaths, just going in through the nose, out through the mouth. And notice how it feels in that rotation as you do so. As you breathe in, you might not be able to rotate quite as much, but as you breathe out, you'll be able to relax and rotate just that a little bit more. You might find that your body naturally wants to go a little bit back and forth between a more and a less extended range of motion as you do that breathing. Ease out a bit there. Now let's do a couple of rotations left and right. And then whenever you find yourself looking to the right, again, let's holding it there. Breathe into it again. Let's ease out of that one. And when you're ready to, let's go into our lateral flexion, reaching down to one side, down to the other, back and forth between the two. As always with this, you want to curl over to the side rather than just bending. So this is bending, this is curling. There's a small, slight difference, but try and imagine your spine is like a banana curling over to the side. You want a curve, not an angle. And let's increase that stretch. As we go over to the left side, we can bring one arm over and we get a little bit of a lateral stretch in there as well. So getting that stretch all the way down the side. And you keep your arm up the best you can, if that's in front of your face, in front of your chest, or above your head, wherever you can get that arm to. Just holding it there. If you can't hold it there for too long, you can relax out of it and come back into it. But just doing the best you can. Ease out of it. We'll do one or two to each side. And then whenever you're ready to, over to the other side. Ease out of that again. Good. We do a couple of left and rights there just to bring ourselves out of it. Good. Let's do one last one with the spine. We come around in a whirlpool. And this one's quite nice just for getting all those in between bits. We go through our 4 ranges of motion: the flexion, extension, rotation, and lateral flexion. This kind of goes in between some of them just to help loosen it off. It's quite a nice one to do as well. Change direction. And then relax out of it there. Good. Okay. Let's have another drink break. But as we do so, I'm just gonna say about those movements. If you do have any pain or discomfort whenever you're going through those movements, just back off the range of motion to begin with. Hopefully it will ease off a bit there. But if it gets too much at any point, just keep backing it off until you find a point that is comfortable for you. I don't want you to just push yourself through the pain on this. There is obviously lots of different reasons why it may hurt. Maybe you've got metal in your spine, maybe you've got deterioration of your spine, whatever it may be. Just do what you can do within as pain-free range of motion as you can do. We don't necessarily need to push ourselves far on those. Most of the work in terms of the benefit of this comes from just moving. So don't have to go for a big range of motion necessarily. Just moving a little bit goes a long, long way. So yeah, don't worry too much about really pushing each one the best you can. Just get to where you can with your comfort levels in terms of spinal mobility, and then go from there. Good. Okay, I'm gonna have my drink quickly and then we will move on. Alrighty. Let's recenter ourselves with some breathing, going in through the nose, out through the mouth, and just bringing that focus back in again when you're ready to. Okay, let's go through some of our more yoga type movements now. So we start off nice and simple. We'll bend forwards the best you can. Then when we come up with a flat back to begin with, about halfway up, then coming back down again. And then the next time you come up with a curl back, remembering like it's a slinky and each bit is going one on top of each other until you straighten out that movement. Good. We go back down to the beginning. We'll do a couple like this before we move on. So all the way down, up halfway with the flat back, back down, up with the curl back, nice and slowly. Stack those vertebrae, neck finishes off the movement, and back down to the starting position again. I'll let you go in your own pace here, so however fast or slow you want to go, just as long as you're controlled as you go through it. So it's just those two movements, up with the flat back down, up with the curl back. And wherever you're at, we'll do one more of these. Good work. And then the next one we go into, we do the same thing, but we go into our prayer position, then arms over the head. So let's start right down at the beginning again. So coming up with the flat back down, up with the curl back. Palms together as you come up, reach up above your head, or at least the best you can, out, around, down to the beginning again, coming up with the flat back down, up with the curl back, hands together, extending up the best you can, out and around, and continuing on. Feel free to go at your own pace now. I will watch you as you're doing it, see that everybody's on track here. So again, up with the flat back, up with the curl back, palms together, reaching up above your head, but your own speed, your own pace. Looking good. Excellent work. Good mobility there, everybody. And I will join back in with you. Okay, wherever you're at, let's do one more. Okay, so on the next one, we do the same movement, but we're linking the next bit. So as the arms come down, we bring it back into a prayer position, and we're going to rotate to the left and open up the hands. And then we're going to finish there on that. So then we bring the hands together and go back down, and then we repeat on to the other side. I'll guide you through these first couple again. So let's start all together at the bottom and come up with a flat back and back down. Up with a curl back. Nice, slowly. Movements, palms together, reaching up, out, around, and together in a prayer position. Rotate to your left. So your right arm goes in between your legs. Open it up the best you can. And ease out of that. Just before we move on to the other side, if you can't quite get into this position, just this is fine. This is fine. Just wherever you can get to rotated. don't have to go exactly how I'm doing. Let's go on the other side now. So all the way down again, up with the flat back, back down, up with the curl back, arms together, reaching up, out, around, palms back together again, rotating to your right, left arm between the legs or wherever you can get to. Open up those hands and ease out of it. Good. You feel free to go at your own pace now again, and repeating on the left side this time. Right, keep that going. I'm just gonna watch you as you're doing it. I know you guys are experts by now. I like to just check in to make sure everybody's on the right track as such. Movement. Finding where you guys are at. Yeah, let's make ourselves back to the beginning again. So finish off the one you're on. Don't rush there. Learning. Good. Okay, let's link in the next bit. So once our arms will be in this position, we open up as usual. But this time we seesaw back and then back to the front. And then we do the thread the needle where the arm comes through the gap. I'll repeat that one more time. So we do the one we just did before, but then once we're in this position, we seesaw back and then back again. This hand comes onto the lap, other hand comes up towards the sky, and it comes down and threads the needle through. Good. I will help with saying which side we're doing as we go through it, so it's a little bit easier to think about as we go. Let's go all the way back down to the starting position, and off we go. So coming up with a flat back, back down, up with the curl back. Nice gentle movements, palms together, reaching up, out, around, back together again, rotating to the left. Open up those hands, then the left hand drops down, right arm comes up, points towards the sky, then seesaw back again, so the right hand drops down to the left arm comes up, points to the sky, and then the gap we've created under our armpit, we come down, thread the needle through the gap, and all the way over to the other side. Ease out of it again. Before we go on to the other side, if this position is a bit too much, we can come just across our body instead. If it's a little bit too much to come right the way down and into that gap. Right, back to the beginning, onto the other side, up with a flat back, back down, up with a curl back, arms together, reaching up, out, around, back to the prayer position, rotating to the right. Left arm opens up, right arm points to the sky. Right arm drops down, left arm comes up as we seesaw up. So pointing up to the sky with our left arm, now we're coming back down again. Left arm onto the lap, right arm points up towards the sky. And then comes down, threads the needle through if you can, through that gap, all the way over the best you can. Ease out a bit. Let's do one more on each side in your own time and your own pace again. And yeah, so I feel like you guys know what comes at what time, so off you go. So once you've done one more on each side, that's fine. We can ease that a bit there. Just going to check the time. Okay, got 5 minutes here. Nice. Let's bring it into a close today's session with a little bit of breathing. So we'll just bring our focus back in through the nose, out through the mouth, and close those eyes down whenever you're ready to. And sometimes even with those gentle movements that we do, it can kind of get the heart rate up a little bit and get the breathing going, just simply from holding the mid positions, using those muscles to gently move our body through. And it's kind of similar to if you tried to push over a wall, for example. You're not going to be able to push it, but you're still working the muscles really hard, even though you're not moving fast or you're not actually moving anything. And it's same with those positions. The holding of the body positions can cause you to elevate those heart rates and to get the breathing going. So that might be why you feel a little bit out of breath, even though it's gentle movements. And we're going to bring ourselves into a nice relaxed state by doing some box breathing. This is where we do 4 seconds breathing in, hold the breath for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, and hold it out for 4 seconds. So we do it all together. So get yourself ready to breathe in now. So breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold in, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, hold out, 2, 3, 4, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold it in, 2, 3, 4, breathing out, 2, 3, 4, hold it out, 2, 3, 4, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, hold it in, 2, 3, 4, breathing out, 2, 3, 4, hold it out, 2, 3, 4, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, hold it in, 2, 3, 4, breathing out, 2, 3, 4, and return your breathing back to normal again, hopefully in a bit more of a relaxed state. And whilst we're there, let's thank ourselves for coming today, for not just turning up, but committing to each and every movement that we did, staying focused, staying present as we went through the movements. This is going to help us in the long run, so just remind ourselves that this is helping us with our mobility, our relaxation, and that mind-muscle connection, helping us to lead a slightly healthier life through that mobility. So when you're ready to, you can open up your eyes nice and gentle, bring yourself back to the room. And we are done there for today's session.